Is Nvidia stock heading lower? Let's analyze. So I'm kicking off my analysis from a monthly chart perspective. And the reason I use a monthly chart is it's the longer term trend. It takes the noise out of daily and weekly candles. And the trend shift that we understand on a monthly chart is pretty robust. It's one that you can trust because it's built over months essentially. And the first clear thing you can see just looking at this chart is this beautiful channel that Nvidia stock has been on since the bottom in October 2022. And for the first time in this period here, and especially in December last year and Jan of this year, we've seen that trend line break. Now, for me, that's something I definitely pay attention to because that is suggesting character change from the stock. Another thing you should pay attention to is how the structure is forming on this channel. So you can see the structure initially was formed the low, went to the top of the channel, formed a nice consolidation pattern here, and then you can see the candlesticks, they formed the uptrend again, which took it right up to the upper channel. It's a little bit more consolidation and then back to the upper channel, and then from there on, it was forming a nice cup, nice little cup here. However, it hasn't been able to break out of this cup formation here and mostly has been rejected. You can see the price action on the candlesticks here is mostly one of rejection at this 150 level once, twice, and then more exaggerated in the month of Jan, breaking long-term trend. And you can also see a little bit of a dome structure. We'll look at the weekly chart and it'll be a bit more clearer. But it's suggesting trend change. The volumes you can see as well here. You can see big volumes coming in, so big inflow into the stock. And then you can see as as it really takes off and builds stage 1, stage 2, it starts to really taper off. Some big money possibly moving out of the stock, and then you can see the selling is now increasing with the volume of sell increasing as well. So overall, long-term trend is not good. It seems like the long-term trend has actually been broken. If I start looking at the weekly chart, nothing should be different. You can see the chart in the weekly end as well. It formed the top somewhere in June, a bit of a bottom structure, base formation, nice breakout, but since then wasn't really able to break through that 150 level. And this is the dome I was talking about here. It's starting to form this dome rather than one where the ideal picture would be that it breaks out, consolidates, and then breaks out. So what I mean to say is the structure that I would love to see on Nvidia was something like this. Something like this, where it breaks out and goes up and possibly hits the upper channel. But it's actually forming a bit of a dome structure, which is suggesting it's going to head lower at this stage. And you can see the increased volume on the last week, not really a good sign. And from a consolidation perspective, what you ideally want to see is something like this, which let's take in relationship, what happened, apologies, what happened here. So you can see here this consolidation was it's painful for a lot of people because a lot of chopping, but what it did was it formed a nice higher low here and the trend moved up then. So you can see the pattern that I'm seeing here is one where choppy, but overall it built a nice little structure like this. And the difference I'm seeing right now in the pattern, especially in this section here, is it's gone up, it's come down, it's tested it, it's come down, it's made a lower high, which is not good. And I'm seeing this, and I'm seeing something like this possibly playing out, where if I just zoom in a little bit to emphasize my point, there's the dome that I was talking about. Starting to hit high, tries to retest this support formation here, goes up again, forms a resistance, again comes back to support, unfortunately then forms a lower high here, and then it just breaks down, gaps down actually, which is not good. It might gap up again, um, and that's the scenario which we could have to also consider. Is it could just do something like this as well. It could gap up and start doing something like this. And look, that would be bullish if it starts to form like this kind of a structure, like a W pattern here, where it reclaims the box. Maybe this was a liquidity grab, tries to reclaim the box, then it would be bullish, and that would again then suggest, at least a short-term trend shift. But the likelihood of that does look less, especially with the volume sell-off. But look, the highest probability right now is the stock could go lower. The lowest probability is that it could reclaim some of those key supports above at least 130, 140 and go higher. But you want to play on the highest probability angle, and that right now suggests lower. In these instances, my interpretation of the price action is that it's one where I would just watch and observe. I wouldn't really be buying the dip here. Even if I wanted to buy the dip, I'd want it to consolidate here and really show some tight price action, and then really give me a clear trend indication before I put money into play on the stock. But otherwise, I'm just on the sidelines, definitely not buying this dip until it shows character change, essentially. And if I go into the daily chart, it just exaggerates our point. You can see the dome structure here around this 140, 150 level. Here you can see it's, and the most likely output, that's why I feel, is that it could head lower towards the 100 mark. Just take this out just to show you a little bit more. So the structure here, of lower high especially, and then this consolidation around the 200-day moving average, which is the red line, and with its shorter term moving averages, which is 8 EMA, the green line, and the 21 EMA, which is the yellow line, both trending down. One of the things that we'll possibly see with this stock is even if there's a rally that happens, or a bounce, there's going to be resistance in these short-term moving averages, taking it lower, and that's just something that'll happen. These moving averages here, which are trending down, they will act as support, as resistance for this stock price, and that's why reclaiming them and holding them and having tight price action above these moving averages would be bullish. But that's only if it actually shows character for that. But right now it's not. You can see it actually got rejected, just to emphasize the point a little bit more clearly. Got rejected exactly at that 8 EMA. You can see big reversal, and thereby short term, this stock on the daily level, on the weekly level, and also on the long-term level, which is monthly chart, the trend for now is broken. So buying the dip is not recommended. Observing it, maybe put it on a watch list, see how its price action consolidates over the next few days, weeks, and months actually. And then if the story still stays, it's one that you should get back in if it shows the character change. But otherwise, I would just stay away for now. The other thing I do is I also track money flow. So what the smart money is doing, and I've just made a list of some of the latest money flow options trades that were sizable on this mega stock. So 2701 to the latest 3101, which is Friday last week. You can see a lot of put buying on the stock, and this is not common for this stock, where while it's been on that epic bull run essentially, or trend run in the last 2 years, this level of put buying is not usual, and it kind of indicates, I'm not saying again end of the world, but I'm just saying people are hedging, people are expecting downside, thereby hedging, or people are expecting downside and trying to make money out of it, but the expectation of downside is more than upside because of the level of put buying that I'm seeing. And I just wanted to show that in relation, right? So if you go back up into my list, I've got a few other stocks like Meta, and you can see the recent money flow on Meta from the 2401 to 3001, either been call buying or put writing, which is essentially very bullish flow. Yes, it might not, um, explode because it's already done really well in the month of Jan. It's gone up 20%, but at least the dealers, the options dealers in the coming period are expecting it to either consolidate, but I'm not expecting it to go down. And similarly, Salesforce, you can see as well, a lot of call buying, options dealers expecting it to go north of 360 in the coming months. And similarly with Reddit, most of it is either call buying or put writing, which suggests again that it's going up. But you can see the change of, it's different for Nvidia, though. There's a lot of put buying of late, like I was highlighting, which does suggest that it's on a different trend versus these other stocks, which are some of the leading stocks at this stage in the market. Um, and then, in terms of the floor that I was discussing right in this chart, if you remember, we were discussing 100 level will be interesting, possibly 197. And another reason, if you connect back to the money flow, you can see put writing for the stock, where, a large options dealer, if exists until expiry, is actually taking the obligation to buy the stock at that strike price, with the discount of the premium, obviously. But there is put writing around the 105 and 99 level, and then a little extreme at 73 level. So it does suggest, the first level of stop where the stock might, start to form a little bit of a base structure would be around the 99/100 level. And then we need to assess. So thereby, no action at this stage, more an assessment. So that's my stock analysis on the Nvidia stock price. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did and you want to keep the conversation going, please leave a comment. If you like the content, please give me a thumbs up. Hopefully you have a great weekend, guys. Thank you. Cheers. Bye-bye.